So, that was my son. That is still my son, actually. That Khalil Gibran thing goes right through my head. The arrows and the bows, and before you know it, they're gone. But today, he's here. So Brooks and I started here in... I'm going to cry first. Okay, so let me just get this out of the way so you're all prepared. It's going to happen. In the year 2000, I was a Sunday school teacher, and he was a little older than 2. And then Carol Knight told me to be a minister. I got the tap. Some of us got it. Will Castagna got it. This is you. This is your calling. My sister had just passed away. And I said, okay. So here we are, 15 years later. Thank you for opening your hearts to me and opening this community to me again. And for those of you who know some of the older people in this, thank you. I'm trying to pretend like I'm not crying. Thank you, Virginia. For some of you who know, Frank Morgan got wind that I would be here this morning and texted me to say, go for it, bring your light. And Frank Morgan was a musician with us before Patricia, who has a fairly large presence and was a big part of the community, also just the way Patricia is now. So I bring you his good wishes this morning also, and his love, which was so fun at 6 o'clock this morning. So in keeping with nothing I can think of right now, I have nothing I can think of right now. So I'm going to take another deep breath and remember that all is well. Thank you. And the parts of this service have come together very gracefully and in a very interesting and playful way from the universe, offering me all sorts of experiences and opportunities to be fully present in the moment. And I wrote the affirmations with no idea of what they meant, the being and the listening and the receiving. They just flowed, and I thought, these aren't regular affirmations. And I was like, yeah, they're fine. They'll do. This is good. And I had picked the reading out a few days ago, and then Patrick got back from his amazing ski vacation and needed an email and for the order of service, and I sent that off. And right after I sent it off, my computer said goodbye to me, and it stopped. And it was like that. I have things to do. No, apparently not. So I had no more things to do, and I had to follow my own affirmation and get quiet and be still and listen and breathe and surround myself with all of you, knowing that we would all be here again together this morning. And the way that I gather for a sermon is in my head, I imagine myself carrying a basket as if I was in the market. And for the 2 weeks before I do it, or the week before, I put things in my basket, and I never know how they're going to come together or what it's going to mean in the end. And then somewhere between 9 o'clock last night and this moment right now, what it is appearing. And what I was moved to start with was last summer in August. I think that's where I'm starting. I'm starting last summer in August. I was at a graduation of my school, the University of Santa Monica, a spiritual psychology program, and there was a man speaking named Robert Holden. And the words he spoke in one instant filled me with the next 6 months of my life, which is, there is no such thing as a dark night of the soul. It's the dark night of the ego dying. Right? Thank you, Robert. Welcome to my world now. I took him seriously. Let's find out what that's like. So I dove in, and I didn't do it on purpose, of course, and not based on his words, but his words were my lifeline. Because as I went through a very dark period for myself, I was invited to continue to remember that my soul was not dying. My ego was fighting the good fight. And she fought and fought and fought, and it is everyone's fault. Okay? Everyone. You too. But you already knew that, right? Everyone's fault. Everyone is somehow culpable in this journey until you're not. And in the awakening from the darkness that comes from the ego, holding on to what was and not wanting to fully step into what is, and what is actually better, more life-sustaining, more fulfilling, or it would not be happening. In the fight that our ego puts up, there is a lot of pain. There is a lot of suffering. At least in my version and some versions I've heard from other people, there is that. And what emerges from it is the thing that we've always heard is the phoenix rises, but something must be burned down first. And what must be burned down is our small and unsightly concept of ourselves. Our small insignificance, the life that we get caught in that is so not what life is, needs to burn down. Because from that place, when we allow the burning down, no matter if it shows up as financial issues, no matter if it shows up as health, well-being, impermanence, relationship, whatever loss it shows up as, it will challenge you to the depths of who you think you are, to finally open you and me to the depths of who I really am. Really. And there is no way that during the fight we get lost all the way, because we have lights and beacons in our life. We have friends, we have loved ones who reach down and pull us up and give us a little shake and remind us that we're loved. That we see it in their eyes. They say, I see you, I love you. Come home to my heart. Be here with me, so that we don't get completely lost. We don't completely lose our way. But the ego comes it's like the cat came back the very next day. The ego comes back and says, yeah, we got a little more journeying to do. Some more fire. Some more fire. So the invitation of these fires, small fires, big fires, are for us to recognize the disparity in the two access points to life. There's one access point to life that is, we are small, insignificant animals. It's a game that my son used to play at school called Predator-Prey. Always made me a little nervous. Predator-Prey. What happened to tag? We go to a very progressive school. But that's the game. It's predator-prey. Who's going to die, me or you? Who's going to live, me or you? The other game is love. It's purity. It's heaven. It's holiness. Now, here's the interesting thing. In heaven, there is no duplicity. There is no two. There is only one. As you hear us pray, the prayer is the call. The prayer is not going out of you. The prayer is coming into you. It is the invitation to change your consciousness. When we pray for you, we're sneaking in that we're actually praying for ourselves. Our consciousness is one consciousness. The consciousness of heaven, as the Course in Miracles would call it, the consciousness of beauty, the consciousness of the life, of the passion, of the power of who we are, the reality, big R of who we are, is love. That consciousness is who you are. There is no dualism. There is no Satan. There is no darkness in the holiness of heaven. And we don't always choose that. We often, and in many ways, I actually believe this to be evolutionary, we go back and forth within the reality of dualism. Because within dualism, we do have friends. We do have love. But it's not in its purest form. And so we get drawn back and forth. We get drawn in and out of intrigue and drama and who's who and what's what and who did. We love it. Some part of us is playing predator-prey all the time because we want to live and we want to feel alive. And we think that the drama and the experience of being in some kind of dualism, some kind of game, some kind of power struggle is actually life. This is a choice, and it's a choice we all make frequently. And there's another choice, which is to step fully into a consciousness with full trust and full faith that all that is good. That everything that you are being given in every moment is for you, is for me, is for my highest good. There is no way it could exist outside that reality if I call it and say it so. So no matter what it is, if it's the loss of a loved one, the loss of your fortune, the loss of a friendship, the heartbreak that you're experiencing, it is for you if you choose heaven. If you choose that, you will see that you are growing in love because that is what we're here to do. Our life is simply about allowing the blossoming of ourselves into the fullness of the love which is who we are, and we begin to vibrate so incredibly fully and from such a high place that we no longer need a body. And that's when we depart. And that is the journey. Now, the journey that we choose quite often is the duality journey, where we choose moments of heaven and we choose moments of hell. And we believe that something is out there trying to get us. And we believe that we are our worst enemy. And we believe that someone else is our worst enemy. And we turn on ourselves in this place and create duality even within our own selves. And so the healing, as I discovered, must start here. And we all know this intellectually. We all know that intellectually we need to heal ourselves before we can feel and have the love and the passion that we really, the heart that we really want in our lives. But do we do it? So many people I talk to, so many times I've tried to love myself and not known exactly what that meant. What does it mean to love myself? Well, I stumbled on something that Katie Hendricks said, of Gay and Katie Hendricks. She said, stop being a project to yourself. And your partner's not your project either. For those of you who are wondering. Stop it. Love and accept exactly who you are right now. Treasure who you are right now. If you weigh too little or you weigh too much or you're too tall or you're too skinny or you're too financially abundant or you have no money or you're, whatever it is that you're doing or you're crabby or you're this or you're that, whatever it is that's not okay with you, cut it out. Not cut it out. Not that. No, stop berating yourself. That's what I mean, yeah. So what I'm saying is that those constant little messages to ourselves, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough, you're essentially telling God it's not good enough the way you were made. Not good enough. Oh, you like beauty for me. Big problem for me. It was. I thought it was bad. Stupid. Why do I like beauty? It's stupid. It doesn't have any substance. It's stupid. But over the last few years, I've been able to just fully embrace that and then see what happens when I give it to other people and say, I see your beauty. I see the beauty of the flowers. I see beauty. That is part of God in me. Instead of, I wish I cared about something else. It's just who I am. And of course, the things are bigger and deeper than that. And in this time period, in this time when my ego was dying, and so I had to love whatever was there, I got to love the parts of me that really watched junky TV. Because I needed it. I was done with processing myself and reading another self-help book. I was no longer a project. I had to have something else to do. If I'm not a project, I can watch TV. I got time. So you guys, you can watch all the TV you want. You got plenty of time. When we stop filling our lives with self-recrimination and self-denial and self-punishment, that's when we're learning to love ourselves. It's not about dinner or makeup or nails or the new bike or a new gym membership or anything else. It's about, can you let yourself be? Let's take a deep breath. Can we let ourselves be fully the magnificence that we already are? Rumi. Ours is not to seek for love, but to find all the barriers within us and release them. I'm paraphrasing. Ours is not to seek for love, but to find the barriers. We are in the way of our loving. I judge myself for something, I will judge you for it. And I can't love you if I'm judging you. I am separating from you. But if I can love myself for staying in bed another hour, for eating things that I don't think I should eat because I might not have donuts, if I can do that, I can do it with you. And that also means, I'm talking some of the superficial things, but can I love the parts of me that hate? That sit in hatred sometimes? Because then I can look at people who hate in the world and understand. I haven't lived through some of the things that people have lived through. And I actually can hate. So if I can only imagine how other people can find that in themselves. This week, I had this experience of looking at the news, not the news, but the online news, and realizing that I could no longer keep track of the chaos. The chaos is so chaotic, and it is chaotic on top of it, and who is with who, and the British girls, and the ISIS, and the Syria, and the this, and the... I can't. Who's in Libya, it is wildly beyond my wildest imagination of how bad things could get on the outside. But what is good about it? What is flowing through this experience? What is happening in me as I am one with this? This is my world. I am not besides the point. What am I delivering into this moment? How am I being more loving? Where is my hatred feeding ISIS? Where is yours? How dare we blame it on a religion? We don't know. We know nothing. We got beauty and Ojai. And we all have our issues and our problems, and I'm not saying they're insignificant. And lift up our eyes and look into our hearts and say, where are we not loving? And this process of just allowing myself to love the where I'm not loving, to love the places that I've really effed it up, to love the places that I have done things that I really am really not proud of. But can I love myself so I can do better? Can I love myself so that I'm coming from love? Because the only way I can do better is not by being a project, but by being in love. by being in heaven, by inhabiting a life that believes that love is the place to come from. I breathe it in every moment. I love myself even when I feel like I want to kill somebody. Oh, I know what that feels like. Oh, I see someone else feeling that. Oh, let's join together and I can come from love and compassion and kindness and caring and not reject them and make them feel more separate and more outside and more damaged. When are we going to love ourselves enough to heal this world? Love ourselves enough to start right here. As we are one, there is only one thing that can happen. As I, as you, as each of us step into this moment and this moment and this moment with pure, radical, extremist acceptance of everything that is, calling it all good, calling it all from a place of what is best for the highest good, for the learning, for the growth of consciousness, for the allowing, for all of us to choose to move into the consciousness of oneness, of heaven, of beauty, of perfection, of all is well all the time, from duality. And what it takes is the biggest step in the world. Because we can't get there until we believe it's there, which means faith. To step across the divide into a heaven, to constantly tell yourself that no matter what is happening, it is good. To give yourself the message that this is right on, even when it feels off. To pray to God, to a light, to a love that is so strong that there is only one power, and the only thing it can give you is good. It is for the fulfillment and the growth and the evolution of you that you will become and can be more loving. And so in this moment, we all allow ourselves to just drop into a place where there is full acceptance of everything, even if you are in judgment of what I'm saying, or angry, or sad, or mad, or anything that's happening right in this moment. Fully accept that it's all love. It's all healing us. It's all growing us. It's all beauty. And as Rumi would say, again, out beyond right doing and wrong doing, there is a field. I will meet you there. That is truly where we will meet. And again, paraphrasing, when the souls lie down in the grass, even the words you and me will make no sense. And so the invitation to come fully into communion, fully into love, fully into acceptance with wherever you are in any moment, inviting your full breath and your full love as you express that into the world. Express that with your family, friends, with your city, town, neighborhood, country, world, universe. And you know that you are a candle, that you are a light, that amongst whatever else is out picturing everywhere else in the world, that you continue to hold light and space for love and peace, and you will be called. And if you choose to answer, you will be used in service to love. And I bless all of you, knowing that this is true of each and every one of us, whether we want it to be our birthright or not, whether we care or not, however we feel about it in this moment. It is love, and it is you. And you are magnificent. Peace and blessings. I love you all. Amen.